What's up, everybody? It's your boy Darius J.
And I'm Stevie Neal.
And it's your girl Mela G.
With special guests
TJ Ogunlusi.
See Darius.
Wow.
You loaded up for the A.
I did. You seen it. My shoulders were. I'm sorry.
We had a conversation about this before.
We did. And, it was too much time in between. My mind went back.
Forget about it. This is our running thing. It'll be a different thing each time. Yep. Darius funning us.
Hey,
but this is Convrs8.
Let's talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed.
So we have a special guest on the show, and
we do.
We got to kick this show off with our first intro into how you living.
Yes.
Mela G.
Whew. I don't know if that was loud or not, but
it was.
I'm living. I'm living well. Number one, I don't sound like a man this week. Okay, now let's just go ahead and address that because I did not know
that needs context. That needs context.
Yeah, that needs a lot.
What? I sounded like a man last week?
I mean, people have viewed this for the first time. Lacks a lot of context.
For those that didn't view last week, what are y'all doing? Because y'all in this group of y'all see me going live. Number two, we had an interview with Shawnee, and the whole entire time, I did not know that I sounded like a man until I went to go play back. And I actually got tagged in a comment. It was like, sis, what's going on with your voice? And I didn't even know that my voice was sounding like that. And I wish that somebody would have told me that I sounded like that so that I could change it. But now there's a whole almost 2 hours of us alive.
I just thought your voice changed.
Yeah, me too. I thought you had went up north.
Yeah, exactly. And just got sick or something.
Because I don't talk to you guys outside of this. So,
hey, could have drunk some tea or something.
That sounds cold. That sounds cold when you say it like that.
My voice hasn't changed. That's the
okay.
That's why I addressed it. That's why I said it.
Okay.
But anyways, other than that, I've been living really well. I've been looking for options for therapy, which I feel like I found one to really kind of address certain things in my life, which you will find out in the podcast that I'm releasing tomorrow, the episode I'm releasing tomorrow. But no, I just really, this morning, I kind of just woke up in really good spirits. And it's been a while since I've been able to wake up in good spirits. Just kind of motivated and really kind of to take on the day. And so, like, I don't know if you've seen it or not, but I've finally finalized my aesthetic for my Instagram, for my podcast. And so I'm feeling really good about that. And the new season that I have coming up, and just looking forward to share my life in the most open and transparent way as a learning experience. Like, I don't want to feel like I have all the solutions to every problem, but I just want to give people the opportunity to relate and also be able to ask the same questions that I'm asking myself as I'm learning too. So yeah, I just been really excited to relaunch my podcast. I have some amazing interns that's working for the Artikai that's been doing an amazing job on the page. I've been able to get a lot more clients just with being able to advertise the services that I do have. So that's been really great as well. So everything's on the up and up. I'm really excited about what God is doing in the season and just where he has my focus. And I'm excited to see what comes of it.
Awesomeness.
Yeah. That's good right there, Melody. How you living, Takaya?
I am feeling good. There's coffee in this cup, just as a disclaimer.
Wasn't thinking it till now. Wasn't thinking of anything till now.
I realized I said
I will assume it's vodka now. Thank you. Continue.
I said feeling good, and I thought I should clarify that I'm not drinking alcohol, but I am good. I just finished my first semester of my doctorate program, so all the tears.
That's a monster.
Yeah, and survived and didn't drop out because I thought about
Praise
it
God.
many times. Yes. So I'm done with that. I've been back at work. This is about to be week 3. Our kids come back remotely next week, so that's about to be an adventure. So I've been focusing on preparing that. These are some interesting times we're living in. So
Yes.
Yeah.
y'all have some grace on your children's teachers, please.
Hey,
Oh, boy.
that's right. Look out! Don't be coming at your teachers like that, man. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I'm about to start a coalition. You know what I'm saying? Teachers can enlist me to knock other people's parents out. You know.
Wow.
Not
It's
a part
good
of
to
that.
know.
I'm not condoning that. Those of you who are listening.
I love it, and I'm here for it.
Oh,
You said it.
This is all Darius Cummings Productions.
Thank you,
know what I'm saying?
for clarifying.
There's no violence coming from teachers. I'm just saying, if you need me.
I can't.
How you living, Stephen Neal?
Oh man, well. I'm living great. A lot of things coming down the pipeline. First of all, I just completed class from the Atlanta Voiceover Studio. My first intro class, so that was great. Just learning some techniques and meeting some people. I was like with 9 other people. 2 people were zooming in like out of necessity, not just because of the pandemic, but one student was in San Francisco. I guess she was had heard about this class in Atlanta and wanted to take it. So, you know, I ended up getting her information, and so that was interesting. Just good energy, good vibes, and now I'm just going to reach out to people on the next steps, like representation or just booking stuff like that. So excited about that possibility, having that in my, back pocket, front pocket, or whatever it ends up being. So the next thing was that I'm on Whole30 again, guys.
That's what's up. No grains.
Nope.
No sugar.
Nope. None of that stuff. None of those
crab
beans.
legs. I seen crab legs were still in play.
Hey, that's 100% compliant. 100%. I'm not using any butter.
Never going anywhere.
Yes, crab.
Exactly. I use clarified butter if I'm dipping. It's all legal. It's all good.
Do it.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, so I'm on day 9. I started at the beginning of the month. That kind of just makes it easier to keep track. So on day 9, doing well so far. My blood sugar, I haven't really checked it yet because you're not supposed to really check numbers and stuff like that. Like, you'll make yourself crazy doing that, like with weight and stuff like that. But at the beginning, it was in the 300s. I'm just going to say that right now. I have very high blood sugar, naturally. So this helps keep it in check. But then the key is to find something to stick to once I get off the 30 days. Because see, inevitably what happens is that I'm so glad that the Whole30 is over that I have like 2 pizzas or something. I don't know.
That's real.
And then it's over. It's a ruin. It's over. All that much bread at one time, your body converts into sugar. It never ends. So, so yeah, that's what's been going on. Things have been good. Still working from home, of course. Like a lot of people. I've been here for like, 5 months. It's been 5 months just working here, like right where you see my computer desk is right over there. So, yeah, man. So that's all that's been going on with yours truly.
That's what's up.
How you living? How you living, Darius?
Right. That's what's up.
What's going on today?
Golly, you know
Jesus
what I'm saying?
Christ.
Hey man, I'm gonna tell you something. Like the past couple of days, I've been off. You know what I'm saying? Like supremely. I know. Like I think it was Wednesday. Wednesday. It was Wednesday or Thursday. I can't remember, man. But I was like supremely depressed. You know what I'm saying? Like I ain't had no feeling like that since I was young. You know what I'm saying? Like I was just, I don't know, I was in my head for some reason. Like I rarely get in my head and go crazy in that joint. And you know what I'm saying? I was just like thinking about a bunch of stuff, and you know, I've been studying for this exam, which I was supposed to take Saturday. I pushed it back. I was supposed to take it on my birthday, but I honestly I was just like, I feel like I'm prepared to take it, but at the same time, I don't want to fail. And that fact that I may fail, because it is, you know what I'm saying, kind of, it ain't an easy test, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, you know, for, you know, my certifications, then a month after this one, I take the next one. And I'm just like, man, you know, and plus, you know, trying to get everything straight for school, then like somehow my hope disappeared and stuff like that. And I was just like, oh, okay, so you saying they ain't got no money for this upcoming semester. That's great. And that was just like, and I was just like, but you know, I'm an A or B student, you know what I'm saying? So how did my hope go away? It was like, well, you know, forgot to file your paperwork, and we ain't really say nothing to you because we don't really tell you we forget, and we just kind of let you figure out we forgot. You know what I'm saying? But you know, that's when I used to go to school back in the day, when I was in college back in the day, that was the same thing. I was like, oh, it ain't nothing new. I should have expected that. And you know what I'm saying? It's just trying to, I don't know, it's just kind of like not being back to normal, kind of just kind of like, I think it finally fell on me that like, man, I can't actually go to places and handle business, and I'm kind of like leaving everything to chance. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't go physically there and say, hey, who in here in the registrar's office need to answer this question, because y'all need to hurry up with this. So I'm kind of just like playing phone tag and leaving everything up to like, hey man, I'm really learning to say, hey, I can't control everything. As much control I had lost it. I don't lost that. You know what I'm saying? Now in this time, I don't have all that control. You know what I'm saying? Eat a little bit of control that I had. You know what I'm saying? And it's really been forcing me to like really study out, you know what I'm saying, just really being faithful, you know what I'm saying, and earnest in my heart about my faith, even though like sometimes it's just you see in life that like, man, that's hard, you know what I'm saying, and I'm just like, man, that's hard for me to deal with right there. Like it's hard for me to just like through everything still come out like faithful, you know what I'm saying, but I try my best, and some days it take me a couple days just to come back around to it, because sometimes I know like even when me and my wife, she was praying, I'm telling you, at the second I ain't feel like praying, she was just like, let's pray. I'm just like,
I
don't feel like, I'm upset.
That's real.
You know what I'm saying? And then after she got through praying, she prayed so hard so long, I was just like, well, I guess I can't just let my wife pray that hard. Lord have mercy. let me come up to the throne room myself and, you know, talk to God about how I'm feeling. You know what I'm saying? But it was good, you know what I'm saying? Like, cause it really refreshed me. And even though I'm saying all that, say this, like I ain't all the way back 100, but I do understand that like you could be on high, you could be on low, you'll land in the middle.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like right now I'm in the middle. You know what I'm saying? I know God is still powerful. I know God is God. Jesus died for me. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes it just be a struggle, man. You know what I'm saying? Like as men and women that, you know what I'm saying, that are disciples of Jesus Christ, it's just sometimes it's just hard and you just kind of fall into despair. But you know, God is still faithful through it all.
He is, and
You know
we're human as well.
And we human, you know what I'm saying? We don't want to be, we don't want to have the mindset of saying like, hey, we're perfect. We just strive for perfection. It's never, you know what I'm saying? Perfection is not the goal for us. It's just like, okay, I'm gonna strive to be like Christ. I'm not gonna be Christ, but I will strive to be like him. You know what I'm saying? Right. And you know, just like Jazz said, you know what I'm saying, embracing the messy middle. That's exactly what it is. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's been me, you know what I'm saying, for this week. You know, but
thank you for your transparency.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. We praying for you for those tests, and I mean, financial aid is never easy, but
Never.
you know, I believe them. You know, just kind of waiting in the weeds and just be like, you missed the deadline. You know,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
messed me up because I was just like, man, I was expecting to take that joint on my birthday. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I was just like, got in my own head, and they didn't even want to admit to my wife. She was like, hey, you gonna take the test today? I was like,
Speaking of your wife, she just got on.
I was just like, hey man, you know, I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna prepare some more. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna take it later.
Hey, yeah, just get back on and take it when you take it.
Yep.
Right.
All right. So we got a show to do.
We have a
So
show to do.
Yeah.
Hey.
man, so the most anticipated conversation in the history of this
Oh
podcast, probably.
man.
History.
My
History.
goodness, guys.
Jeez.
All I did was post something that my wife's cousin posted on my timeline, and I just could not anticipate the reaction this
Right.
would get.
I'm telling you, that one went crazy.
It went crazy. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
The notifications I got.
We're going to talk about boundaries. We're going to have a conversation about boundaries. I'm sure you'll enjoy it.
Yes.
So we're going to start with Mr. Postman.
Mr. Postman.
Mr. Postman. Mr. Postman. Mr. Letter Writer himself.
That's right. Oh, he wrote a
United-
letter and he works for the mail. Like,
Exactly. Mr. United Postal Service.
Oh my
man.
gosh.
So,
I can't.
okay. If you have not heard the story by now, all right. So this happened in 2019. So July 2019. So this was reported by V103. At least that's where I saw what was being posted. So a man sees a lady at the post office. She's getting stuff processed at the post office, as anybody would do. Apparently, he's so smitten by this woman that he uses the information that she posited into the post office to do her business, to track her down with a letter.
Yeah.
So he wrote a letter saying, you know, I'm shooting my shot. I know this is kind of creepy. It's kind of weird, but I would like to get to know you better because I'm just so blown away by how beautiful you are. Woo! And I hope this isn't creepy, and I hope you're not mad. Well, she got mad.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. She got mad. This was a violation. And I'm just going to give it her side, and then we'll have the conversation.
Yeah.
She said she felt violated, that her information was used to send this letter.
Right.
So that it was improper, and that she wished not to communicate with this man, and that the appropriate action should be taken. So this thing went viral, and apparently it went viral again here on Convrs8.
Yeah, it did.
This was a great and lively conversation, but now we're about to have a live conversation.
Yeah, we're gonna come back on round to it. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So kick us off. Shoot, I got a lot to say.
Okay, Darius. All right. Yes. So we know you got a lot to say. So
you had a lot to say.
Right.
Yeah. I don't have a lot to say. I said it on the post, and you know what I'm saying. My big sis Comica, you know, co-signed with me. You know what I'm saying a little bit. Well, but you know what I'm saying. Like I feel like it was a cool gesture, but you know, like it's just I understand the boundary lines. You know what I'm saying. I understand that these days, creepiness has been at an all-time high. You know what I'm saying, and it's been. When I first read it, I was like, oh, that's so sweet, man. Look at that dude, man. He really trying to shoot his shot. But then I started hearing people break down like, yo, what he had to go through to actually do that. I like,
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that part.
Might cross the line a little bit. But you know what I'm saying? But on the same thing, I tell people like, hey man, but what if there was a female? I don't think that would have been blown out of proportion like that. You know what I'm saying? Coming after a man. You know what I'm saying? Because a man, when he's just like, especially he showed up and he's just like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, he probably wouldn't even put it online. And like, especially if she was cute. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know, the dude might have been ugly. You know what I'm saying? Cause that's the reason I feel like she probably went back to the post office, saw the dude like, he Chester the molester. I see you. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. That's him.
We have to draw a line there. Did we have to make him Myron from the Players Club? Did we have to do that? Did we have to draw that straight line to it?
Hey man, I don't care. You know me. I'm going there, homie. But I'm just saying, man, like, you know, because you know, I don't know, man. I wouldn't have posted it online like that, man. You know,
yeah,
it was a hard thing to deal with. You know what I'm saying? I say I understand, but you know, and some people calling for the man job as a whole. I'm just like, hey, man, he was just trying to, you know, talk to the young lady. You know what I'm saying? He had no other way. Now he had got a phone number and everything like that, and showed up at a house. I'd have been like, all right, dog, you don't went too far.
Yeah, definitely next level of creepy. Yes,
you know what I'm saying.
Sure.
You don't took that too far now, because you deserve to get tased and possibly shot. You know?
I mean, you know, property rules and whatnot. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, you come knocking on my door to my, hey, sweet thing. You know what I'm saying?
No.
And I saw you in the post office. I don't got your information and stuff like that. I even know your blood type. You know what I'm saying? Life South said you need to come back and start back getting blood. And, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, I'm just making scenarios. You know,
I know.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm saying, just like Jazz said, bro, man was shooting this shot in the wrong gym. I'm just like, hey, man, where else you shoot shots at but the gym, man?
On the,
oh my God.
Outside the gym.
Yeah.
In your driveway.
So what? All right, I'm gonna get to you like this. What else? He was at work and he just screamed her like, "Hey, miss, hey, shout it, hey, you look good," you know.
Okay, that would be the halfway right approach compared to what he did, maybe, because then. But I mean, okay, while you don't catcall her, that might not be the most successful conversion
That would have been unprofessional. At least it would have been at work. He at work.
There's ways to do it. There was ways to do this that he could have been a bit smoother.
He said he was busy. He said he was busy, man. He was busy. You know what I'm saying? Oh, he could have not that busy. He could have offered us some stamps. It's like, hey,
Jazz said he shot it in her
driveway.
Hey man, like, hey, he should have went up there. Hey, sugar socks, you want some stamps?
Sugar socks.
Sugar socks.
Okay, Darius, you're done for right now. Pass the mic to someone else.
Okay, I need someone else, because I have my own things on this, but I want to hear the ladies' perspective on this.
You can go first, Takaya.
Maybe I should go, and then we close with the ladies. Okay, so all right, like I was saying to Darius, I felt like while the idea isn't entirely wrong, there's just a smoother way to execute this. Okay, first of all, in person, you never miss a chance to make an impression in person in this situation. You never miss a chance. Okay.
It work.
Okay, but there's a way to do it. There's a way to do it. Okay, especially if he's in her line, there's a way to process her stuff and be like, you know, just kind of let her know that he thinks she's beautiful. Okay.
So you gonna see her and wink at her, be like, hey, sugar thing.
And just be like, you know, I must say you are just look stunning today. And the thing is, you play the long game. You don't try to go for it all. She may come back, she may not, but then you make an impression and you give yourself a chance to do it in a
I did the same thing to my wife. You know what I'm saying?
You did do that.
I walked up to her when she asked me something.
She said that.
Hey, I'm gonna be your biggest stalker, sweet thing, and walked off. Didn't say nothing else.
But then you left it to her to reach back out to you.
But it was in person too. You didn't put that.
And it wasn't in person.
But hey, if they ain't gonna be argued too. Like, hey, if this dude crazy enough to say this in church, you know what I'm saying? He might be insane for real, man.
I just want to know what he looks like.
That's what I keep saying. That's what I'm saying. I'm telling you, he had to be ugly. You know what I'm saying?
But like I said, you never miss a chance to make an impression in person.
I guarantee.
Because like Mela said, it's far less effective when it's not in person. But go ahead, Darius. Sorry.
I'm telling you, I guarantee he looked like Shamar Moore with the Tyler Perry braids. He would have got that phone number.
My God.
And he would have got that phone number then. But I guarantee he looked like Shabba Ranks. You know what I'm saying?
Please stop. Just stop your foolishness.
Oh my God. You're going to have my people after me for that one. And I didn't even say it.
Jamaica.
Okay.
I'm so done.
But okay, because what if she didn't even remember which guy it was?
But he signed his name.
He signed his name. So, okay, clearly.
And gave a description.
Oh, and gave a description. All right. So maybe she was in his line. So she would have been like, oh, all right, this is who it is. So, okay.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess another way to play this would have been if you're going to use her information, and I'm going to qualify this, don't do this. Okay. But if you're going to, all right, you do it in a smooth way or something like that. Like, I don't know. He just works at the post office. It's not like he's a mail carrier. If he was a mail carrier that did this, then he could be like, oh, there's a package that had to come for you that I had to hand deliver. There's some mail I had to hand deliver or something like that. You know, and I'm just thinking about what I've seen in movies. I mean, it's totally bogus. He should have just made the impression in person. That's my point. But if you're not going to, you know, pull a hitch or something with the walkie-talkie in the package or something like that, something memorable and sweet and not like, hey,
so that's what you made it sound like.
You know what I mean? Like, I mean, yeah. So that's my piece. That's my piece on it. It just could have been done smoothly. I'm not saying it's entirely wrong, but if you're gonna do something wrong, be prepared to face the consequences. Because and the right of refusal.
The internet's to get your job took.
Exactly.
Useless.
And just the simple right of refusal. Someone has a right to refuse you, no matter how smooth it is.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. No matter how suave it is,
exactly.
They have a right to refuse you. So,
but if you me, you'll never get refused.
Okay. I mean, you know, I'd have the same confidence. Like, you know, like I said, make up an impression in person. Hey, I'm handsome. If I do this in person, I'm fairly confident. Okay.
He could have sent flowers in a nice note. Kenitra, come on. That would have been the same thing. That would have been worse.
Okay,
right.
I didn't really give.
Ladies.
Okay,
yes.
Yeah, because I didn't really give my thoughts on the post. I just more so commented on his handwriting and how nice it was.
See that? He was nice.
He was nice.
He's a good guy.
Nice handwriting.
Automatically, he's a good guy because he's great handwriting.
I'm not saying that. So I know that a lot of the comments that I read about was just more so kind of more like this old school, new school concept. Like I think in the old school, it may have worked a little bit better because it's like, well, y'all don't really have social media. So I think it wouldn't come off as creepy or whatever. I think I'm more interested in what the woman's intentions were. I know that the person who posted it outside of B103 was talking about boundaries and talking about, like, I guess posting the photo and the people coming at her about setting this public boundary or whatever, however they interpret it or whatever. I think for me, I think like Darius, when I first read it, I was like, oh, that's cute. You know, like it's cute. But then when I started to read the comments, I was like, oh, I didn't think about that though. You know, like the things that this person had to go through. And especially if this is where you work and this person is supposedly going to come in ever so often, why don't you just wait until she come in again.
Play the long game. Yes.
You know,
play
like,
the long game.
To be able to go into a database, get the person's mailing address, send the letter, be as detailed as possible in the letter. And then, I think for me, I can't say like she was wrong to post it or not. Like that's her,
right or refusal.
Choice. That's her preference. So I can't say like
he knew 2020 was coming.
She should have. I personally feel like I would have done it in private though, but that's just me. Like I would have went back to the post office that same day and looked for whoever that person was and addressed them as such.
Probably been far more effective.
I'm not sure if because I honestly don't know if she knew who. Like I don't know if she knows what the person looks like or not. She just got this letter in the mail and was like,
that
"Hey
dude
y'all,
got
look
good
at this.
benefits.
Look at what I just got here." I got a letter from someone from the post office that sent me this long letter with nice handwriting. Trying to shoot a shot, and I don't know. It's like I don't know if it was like she was intending on trying to get advice about it, or she was like, can y'all believe that this happened to me? Type of scenario. But I think the comments itself on our thread and the original thread was just more about boundaries, about how people met back then versus like how people tend to meet now, and then that completely looks different just with the pandemic going on.
Exactly. He knew 2020 was coming.
So,
Kyle, what you think? What you think, the guy?
Yeah.
I was one of the people that was creeped out initially. I grew up watching Lifetime with my grandmother.
The whole Lifetime movie.
I played out a whole scenario in my mind where she ended up murdered at the end.
Yes.
Immediately.
See what Lifetime did to a generation when you be with your grandma?
That's what it is. That's it. That's it.
That's the factor.
Days of Our Lives. What you call it? What's another show my grandma like to watch?
Hey, you guys name some more shows like that.
And if you're good, name the Lifetime movies that she's referring to.
Oh,
if you're a real fan.
All of them? They all end in murder.
Yeah, I'm about to say they all end up in murder. Because one of them, I thought it was about a little girl that could play basketball real good. She ended up dying in the end. I was just like, I
that's
thought
terrible.
It was real good.
Hey, man.
And yeah, Jazz, Curve Crush. That was the one if you're gonna pick Curve. But anyway, yes.
That's funny.
So you were creeped out, huh? So you just thought
initially.
Well, I'm still creeped out. But then I started thinking, so I wouldn't have posted it on Facebook. Disclaimer.
Right.
But I am with the people that felt like he should have been fired. I was thinking from a teacher's perspective. I have access to a lot of addresses.
You do.
Through, so if I had shot my shot at a parent, I would have lost my job. So
you can't even holler at people, parents.
It's unprofessional.
Get their address through Infinite Campus, use my power to get the address, write them a letter.
Because there is like, if she wanted to shoot her shot, and I'm not saying, because you love Wande, but
yeah, I'm married.
If she was period.
Yes. So rule that out, parents. But if she was single, she would just do it at a PTA meeting like a normal person.
A parent-teacher conference.
Yes.
Hey, man, but what if you
now,
got a bad
we
kid
talked about your student, but let's talk about
exactly. You just got through saying my kid is the worst of the worst right now. Now you trying to holler at me?
I wouldn't holler at that parent though.
Right, because then I have to deal with that child.
Right.
This kid ruined his chances.
Exactly.
That tells me all I need to know.
Like, you're an irresponsible parent, and that's all I know.
Right.
But yeah, back to reality. Yes, I agree. It again, just be prepared to be squashed by the consequences. That's the thing.
So don't use your job. So what? Because nah, never mind.
What? Why you gonna do that?
You know what I'm saying? Nah, never mind.
It's out there now. You have to.
Yeah. Then y'all wanted it. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
I'm a truck driver, right? You know what I'm saying? So, this lady at the meat packing place, You know what I'm saying? Back by 2012, I was in Green Bay, Wisconsin. You know what I'm saying? And cause I had to write my phone number down on the bill in Layton. You know what I'm saying? We had to identify ourselves, and they had to call us to let us know so we can come back in. So she ended up, I'm a funny guy. I just walk up in the room. I was like, hey, what's up, everybody? What y'all doing? Working hard? You ain't doing that. You sitting down. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. I got back to the truck stop that night. We were down the street from the meat packing place. I had to wait out. They took too long. I hate them people. But
wow.
Yeah, man. They really ruined my weekend. But anyway, so I got a phone call. I was like, hold up, they probably calling me to tell me something wrong with my load. I knew it was a Wisconsin area code, so I was just like, all right. And I picked up the phone. It was her, and she was just like, hey, you had a beautiful smile, nice personality. Let's just chop it up. You know what I'm saying? And I was just like, at first I was looking. I looked up my ceiling. I was laying in my truck looking at TV. And I was just like,
come on. Yeah.
This is very kind of creepy, but I am super bored. You know what I'm saying? And I don't mind talking to this female. So I chatted it up. I was like, hey, you know what I'm saying? What's up? What's your name is? You know what I'm saying? I don't really like white women like that, but you sound pretty cool. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't gonna put a name out there. You know what I'm saying?
Please don't.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? It was kind of weird, but it was sweet. But then she ended up buying me something to eat. And I was like, hey, man, you feeding the brother, you know what I'm saying, out here in Greenville? I ended up getting snowed in up there. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? It was a, nice little 2-month encountering, you know what I'm saying? And that all happened because she shot her shot. I let a little vanilla slip into my coffee.
Siobhan! Okay.
Y'all, I told you I said I ain't want to say that. Get your ass. Now we here.
Oh my God.
But as crazy a story as that is a perfect bridge to the next thing that we're going to talk about by popular demand. We didn't get into this entanglement business. We have stayed clear away from it. Not intentionally, but we just haven't talked about it as a show because of our various dealings with COVID and trying to get together. But now we're together. So, an entanglement, an encounter, as Darius would put it, that took over the globe, that taught everyone, at least some people, a new word to use in their everyday life. Entanglement.
Right. I don't like saying that word anymore.
I hate it. It's like swagger. It's like
I'm always trying to find a synonym for entanglement.
Yeah,
right. It's like the word swagger when it came into the culture. I can't use it anymore because then I sound like I'm trying to be cool,
Right.
But, so yes, the entanglement with August, talking about it in August, the aftermath.
The aftermath.
You know what I'm saying?
She went on Red Table, laid it bare, I guess, as best as she could without sullying her good name too much with her husband.
Yeah, she avoided it now.
Yeah. I mean, there was some dodging. There was some bullfighting.
He had to make her say, he had to look at not relationship.
Say what it is, Jada.
Say what it is.
He even questioned it. He was like, entanglement.
Exactly. And plus, the dude was littler than the wheel. I was just like, yo, that dude looked like a weirdo, man. Joe was so tiny. I would have went in there and slapped that fool. I was like, hey, next time I see you at a award show, just know his own site behavior. And you too little to square off with me. So you're just going to have to take this tail whipping.
And he's going to be like, and then I'll tell your wife that later on. I mean, what are you going to,
And that would have for sure got him dog walk. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? He would have been dog walk, monkey stomp, and walk dry.
Monkey stomp? Do you know how small a monkey's feet are?
You know how strong a monkey is?
I never unpacked that witticism until now. I'm questioning that too. By the
Why
way,
did August come out?
Thing
with a
of it
single
is
right
like
after?
he can hit you with 4 fists because his feet are hands.
Stop.
but yes, but a valid point was put on the comments. So this confession, this life cleansing catharsis happened right before an album.
It was all fake.
What's up with that? What's up with that, guys?
I feel like that happens every time in media, whether it's like a beef that rappers have, they go through these little a back and forth like brawl, they release these little diss tracks.
Right.
Or like something relational happens, and then all of a sudden they own an album together, and it's like, well, do y'all like each other or you don't?
Right.
I honestly feel like just with watching Will and Jada, like as they progressed in life, when I was first introduced to them as a couple, you know, on media and television and things like that, like they've always been open in their relationship. I don't really feel like they. Like, I mean, other than the conversations that I've had, I've seen them have like on table talk about just their past and times when they almost like divorced or, you know, things that were in media that they felt like they needed to address. Like, I feel like they've always lacked boundaries. Like even in that conversation, he's like, I allow Will to be who he wants to be, and he allows me to. Well, y'all in a relationship? Why y'all married? And y'all gonna be single? Y'all gonna do whatever y'all want to do. So it's not even a good representation of what marriage should be under the law of God, number one. And number two, it's just like, I mean, it was expected to happen. Like something like this doesn't surprise me because of just the relationship that they do have. And now it's just, you know, I mean, because as the public, for any celebrity, we only know the highlight reels of their life. We don't really know what really goes on behind the scenes until they, like, you know, address something that's been in the headlines and they want to try to clarify something. But then at that point, you still don't even know what's true or not if they're telling you if they're telling you everything. So, you know, and I think that's just with people. You won't truly know a person like in every detail because we're still trying to figure ourselves out. But even in that, the things that we have figured out, the things that we have come to terms with, that we've acknowledged and made ourselves aware of, we still have a choice whether we want to share that with people or not. So I think that's the thing with media, like even if it's a marketing ploy to help, you know, build a single release, or if it was something that was actually real because they had some real problems going on in their marriage and because of their status, it's just blown up because that's just their life.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and so, you know, what's surprising, I think what makes this notable is that this is the first person that has kind of been named in this whole open relationship, like, you know, with Will and Jada. Like, this is the first person to blow the lid on it in any way. So
Will a real pimp. You know
exactly. Like, there's been people linked to Will now, you know, and, you know, very recently too, you know.
That's why Will sat there with the straight face in the video. Like he was giving the face, not at Jada. He was looking at the camera and let all his that was out there.
It'd be like,
no, don't peek your head out here now.
Don't make me come back. Don't make me come back to this table.
I'm still Will Smith. You know what I'm saying? And I know I married Tupac girlfriend, but. You know what I'm saying? But she mine now. I left my wife for her. You know what I'm saying?
Basically.
You know, so I expected her to be in these streets. Just like Future say, she for the streets and he understands. Amen.
I love
it. Bruh. But yes. So and again, like, how valid do you see this Red Table Talk? It's for Red Table Talk. So you take it with a pinch of salt, at least.
Not even a pinch.
Not even a pinch. You know, like it's a tip of the iceberg, really. But
what you think about Zakai? I see you over there.
Oh, yeah, yes.
Okay, I didn't see his interview. What's coming to mind for me is basically the people that said that she took advantage of him. So I just want to know y'all thoughts about that. Because from my understanding, he was dealing with some mental health issues at the time, and he's significantly younger than her. So
significantly.
Yeah. So my initial thoughts were he's grown, but then the more I thought about it, I'm like,
she took
he said
advantage
that
of a baby.
Right, the fact that he was a baby because you're not really grown at that age.
Yeah.
And then she knew that he was dealing with mental health issues.
Cougar. She was a cougar. She a predator.
I feel like with that, because I know that I don't watch Red Table Talks often unless like someone is like, oh, you need to watch this, or it's just talked about in my timeline. So let me just go and see what they're talking about before I give my opinion. But I do know that in watching Table Talk, when they had Will on the show and they were addressing different traumatic experiences that they had in their marriage, whether it was with Willow or with Jada herself and then her mom and that whole whatever. But I do know, I feel like I kind of agree. Because she knew what she was doing, and I feel like she as an adult that has gone through different things, it probably wasn't the best thing for her to pursue. But I do feel like just speaking from human experience, is that when something is not going right in the relationship that we are in, we seek that elsewhere. And that's not just even like with marriages or dating relationships. It could be friendships too. It's just like I think any type of relationship, I think when you're not receiving what you communicated over and over again and it's not being reciprocated, like you go find that somewhere else. And I feel like in dealing and helping him dealing with his mental health and all the other issues that he had going on, they formed a connection where she had a choice to either pursue it or not, and she chose to. And I think in that she took advantage of that opportunity, that situation, to be able to gain something that she needed, which didn't end up beneficial for both parties.
Yeah,
right.
Well, I'm gonna tell you just like this. I'm gonna keep it real, 100% street. You know what I'm saying? She a cougar. She a predatory animal. You know what I'm saying? She saw that little cub down the hill, wounded. You know what I'm saying? He was wounded, left it alone, hanging out with her son, who we don't know what he is either. You know what I'm saying? And she was just like, come on in the house. She was just like that lady on race. Said, come on back in here and get some of that blackberry pie.
Oh, not the blackberry cobbler. Oh, no.
The blackberry cobbler, you know what I'm saying? No. And he just poured water on his back and just said, oh, Lord, I'm tired. I'm healed. I'm tired. You know what I'm saying? I don't want no cobbler, no nothing, no fried chicken. Can we get some tilapia, flounder, something? But,
wow.
You know what I'm saying?
I can't.
But what she did, honestly, man, like it was a very psychological play, because she might have been in a hurt place, but she knew he was in a hurt place. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And she allowed how she was feeling to dive into what he was feeling. She said she was healing him when she was just trying to have a good time. You know what I'm saying? Knock some of that edge off.
Yep.
You know
right. She wanted to feel good. That is exactly what.
Exactly. Like on Monster Ball, like the Halle Berry. You know what I'm saying? She wanted it, and you know what I'm saying. And he gave her the old Billy Bob Thornton. You know what I'm saying? And now
references.
And now you know what I'm saying, that he came out with it, and I don't even understand why he came out with it, because I was looking at the interview with him and Angela, like, was this what the interview was about? Or I don't even think she asked you that.
His feelings was hurt.
Right.
I was like, I don't even think she asked about that. Like, you know what I'm saying? You just like, I want to get down, I want to talk in a dark room with a white suit on and my hair down, and you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna talk about how in love I was with Jada. You know what I'm saying? And Will gave me permission. You know
that part.
I bet Will Smith looked at him like, bro, I wasn't even at the house. How I gave you permission? You know,
I don't even know about you.
I ain't know about you. I wasn't even there. I was about to leave her for real. You know what I'm saying? But he was like,
for the
hey, man,
we
live in LA, so that means I got to give her half of our compound. And Will Smith says, you know what? I ain't finna leave her. It's cheaper to keep her, like the old song say.
Pretty much.
You know what I'm saying? And
they built so much together.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They had so much stuff together. They were just like, even though Jada didn't have a lot, you know what I'm saying? Will did, you know what I'm saying? Because she do never pay little minor roads. Will was the one that had all the bread, you know what I'm saying? And after she had that plastic surgery, looked like a little cat. I would have been through with it. She was like, bro, man, I was like, hey, you come in here looking like a chess cat, you know what I'm saying? You don't get out of here. What you do that for? I leave the house for 2 months and I come back to this, huh? Now you got little August Alcinas in the house. You know what I'm saying? I came in the house, I'm like, there's a little R&B dude in here singing. You know what I'm saying? Talking about, oh, yeah, I love you, girl.
But
Russell,
one point that
what's jacked up is that August was Jada's friend.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
She was hanging out. She was hanging out with a little boy. She was sitting in there sipping her little.
You can come over anytime, sweetheart.
Hey, looking over her glasses like this, like, ooh, Stella about to get her groove back.
Stop it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like Jaden's mom has got it going on, like kind of twist on the old song or whatever.
Exactly. You know
but
what I'm
one point that Mella made that I want to highlight is that, you know, just the lack of boundaries that kind of reared its ugly head here. You know, they played a earlier interview. I think I saw, you know, a start of Ryan Davis comedy or something when he's about to roast Will for, you know, whatever. But in the interview, Will says there were no deal breakers in their marriage, like zero. It's like just a free range thing. Exactly. Okay. Let me tell you something. Okay. There are conditions that will leave me gutted like a fish.
I'm trying
to tell you. Detroit. Okay.
Exactly. Hey.
If you know what I mean. I mean, I gotta treat my wife right. Okay. Hey. I can't just be out here doing anything. Hey. You know, there are conditions. You know, okay. I mean, there's unconditional love, but there are conditions if you want to nurture and you know, let a marriage grow.
Exactly. Yeah, because I seen that, and I was just looking at it, I was just like, man, I wondered that all the dudes she don't interview that Red Table Talk, she broke, because I'm telling you, one thing she do is break dudes down emotionally right there, and then she just be like, I got you. Because I looked at the Wale interview she did, I like, hey, she told that brother down. He probably the next one that might come out. You know what I'm saying? You got the next one coming out. You know he emotional and stuff like that. He gonna like he probably make a whole album called The Smith Factor. You know what I'm saying? And tell it all, man. Because Wale so like the type. You know what I'm saying? Jaden just been not bringing none of his friends to the house. That's all I say.
Right. Yeah, no more.
Not yet.
Can't even trust him. Yeah, you look at your mom like,
well, your friend? I don't have friends.
I don't have friends. You don't slept with all of them, mom. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got no more. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, I can't have friends.
Remember what happened last time? Yeah, you know we're not trying to go down there again.
Exactly. Tyler, the Creator, is my boyfriend. That's what he said on stage.
Oh,
he did say that on stage.
He said it. He said it. He totally said it. But yeah, man. So shots are being shot all over the place. So let's go to a more positive shot, man.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. And so apparently on a Bumble commercial, we saw not too long ago, Tiffany Haddish and Common, you know, having a virtual date on a commercial. Little did we know that this was taking place in reality. They are dating. They have been dating for 4 months.
He gonna cheat on.
Dang, Darius.
And so on all his girlfriends.
No hope.
He ain't wrong.
I don't know his history, so I can't.
Hey.
It's an extensive one. But but yes, so Common is dating Tiffany Haddish. They seem to be happy together. She's happy. She is, you know, of course, you know, given our last example.
So happy she shaved her hair off.
She shaved her hair off. You know, I think it's a good look for her. I think it is.
Yeah.
I think she can pull it off.
She looks like Common.
I haven't seen it yet.
But yes, Erykah Badu, Jazz brought that up. that's on the ledger.
Hey, we need to have a show about that lady.
Ooh, Erykah
That lady has single-handedly ruined hip hop.
Don't.
All right, man. We ain't gonna go there. We're gonna talk about Common. We just gonna talk about Common.
Yeah.
Please.
Womanizer.
He's been in a lot of relationships.
Okay.
Exactly.
A lot of public relationships. Very public.
Reference a particular relationship that he's been in that gives you no hope for this one?
Huh?
Can you reference a relationship that he's been in the past that gives you this notion that this relationship is not going to last?
Every single last one of them he don't had is reference. What's that other girl name? I ain't good with names. Light skinned gal.
And Rice, is he the political lady?
Yeah.
Condoleezza?
No, the one that Common dated.
No.
Common did not date Condoleezza Rice.
We're
gonna kill that right now.
That's why I'm asking for clarity. No.
Angela Rye.
Yeah. I'm about to say not George Bush's girlfriend.
Yeah.
Angela Rye, man. You know what I'm saying? Hey,
yes.
I'm telling you, man. Coming out here in these streets, man. You know what I'm saying? He for the streets.
Oh, come on. We're gonna bring it back to that. We're gonna bring it back to that.
Hey, man, Future, he hit something on there with old for the streets. I'm telling you, that's a bad meme. Yeah, I'm saying for the streets.
Bruh.
Yeah.
See, the Kai done left the program. Just like I can't get in these presidential rumors.
Hey man,
I pay taxes.
Water.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, me too. I got my water right here. You know what I'm saying? Got my gold
and I got my water.
H2O. It's good for your soul.
Yeah.
That is not water, Steve. That's tea.
It's water flavored with tea. But continue.
Ain't that tea though?
No.
I don't really have any comments on Common and Tiffany Haddish.
Exactly. You know, I ain't got nothing on.
I just feel like with relationships on social media in general, whether you're a celebrity or not, we only let into certain parts, and then when y'all are no longer together, it's pretty obvious because y'all ain't posting nothing no more. So I don't know. I feel like you always get a highlight reel with things like that, so you can't really.
I don't believe in the highlight reel thing, you know what I'm saying? Cause one, you know what I'm saying, I don't believe in putting your relationship out there like that, you know what I'm saying? Like, even like some people I know and some people I talk to back in the day, they was just like, oh, it ain't, you know, the thing they had going on back in the day, it ain't official till you put it on Facebook. And,
oh God, that's a whole other conversation. Let's not.
Be like,
let's not go there.
I used to be like, what's the point? You know what I'm saying? Like,
because this is a translation. You need to put it on Facebook so that I can be a part of your life, because in real life, I'm really not a part of your life. So this is the only way that I could actually be a part of that relationship.
That's exactly it. Exactly it.
And you're not.
You know what I mean? So I went about that life. So when people put stuff out there, like, all right, you finna start sliding down here. Because if you even so much breathe at another girl comment, they gonna send pictures to Tiffany, and they gonna be like, look at him. He might have just been ordering fries. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? But now he cheating on her. You know what I'm saying? He might have just been like, hey, can I get some ketchup for my French fries? But he looked like they took the picture so good, it looked like he was trying to get that phone number. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So now he back to square one. Hey, Common might not cheat. Black men don't cheat.
Huh?
Black men don't cheat, man. You know what
I'm
saying?
Anyway, this is definitely going to be a part of the dating landscape, you know, in this COVID time. So it's just cool that the commercial, you know, kind of became a thing, or maybe it was a thing and they made a commercial out of it. We don't know, but that's happening. So that kind of caps our caps our little dealio nicely. So we are about to interview TJ Ogunlusi. But before we do that, we have friends that we like to put on. So we're going to do that right now.
Right.
First of all, we have a friend of ours named RJ, or Honcho of the
RJ.
South.
Honcho
as
of
he
the
is known.
South.
Yep, Honcho of the South. Look him up that way. He has a new project out.
Solid
check it
project,
out.
man. Look him out on Apple Music and stuff like that. Like that, man. Just look him up. He got some SoundCloud freestyles and stuff like that. So check him out, man. I feel like he gonna make some noise out here in these streets.
He already is.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And of course, as Mela mentioned, she is returning to the podcast scape with Mind Your Own.
Yes, new imagery, new aesthetic, new topics, features. It's going to be a good season.
Exactly. And when I get through with all this testing stuff, you know, let me tell you something about Life Podcast is gonna be making this day.
Let's go.
You know what
Yes.
I'm saying?
I'm excited about that.
Excited about that. And,
all the tomfoolery and wisdom wrapped in one.
Yes, right.
And I have a podcast as well outside of this podcast, Film Crew Experience, FCX Film Crew Experience. Me and Aurelia T, we talk about movies, what we've streamed, and kind of like our kind of war stories from working at a movie theater. Last episode, we talked about The Secret Life of Soda. It's kind of crazy. You know, you say that, you chuckle, but there's just some crazy stories we have involving soda and Coke freestyles and slushies. You'll see when you listen. But yes, FCX Film Crew Experience. Yes,
man,
it's quite funny.
It is.
And yes, so I mean, man, we're becoming like a podcast supergroup now. Like
we're y'all have me thinking I need to start one.
You can,
sis.
you
Join the
should.
train.
You should.
You can. You know what I'm saying? Because you know what? Would it be cool if you can like just break down your book through a podcast?
Yes.
Like you could summarize your chapters like in 15 minutes and do a podcast. You know what I'm saying? And you can give people more further in depth. I say, you know, that's a good idea.
It's a good idea for sure.
Yes. I encourage anybody to start a podcast because your view is singular and unique. So
yeah.
It's a million people out there like you.
And that needs to hear you.
And they need to hear you.
And in case you're watching this video and you're curious about where to listen to us, we are on anchor.fm, which puts it out to Apple Podcasts. Wait,
all
Podcasts
of
isn't a thing. All of them.
Spotify.
Spotify. Yes.
Spotify. Everything. We out here.
Yes. So just search us, CONVRS, the number 8. We're there. We're also on YouTube. We have YouTube videos, a vast collection of them. We got like 45 videos on our Convrs8 Media Collective page there. So just check out the back catalog, catch up, because, you know, we just refreshed this thing. We're 2 episodes into season 4 now. So there's like 3 other seasons that you have to catch up on if you're first time to this.
And you can see some of our startup stuff that it didn't quite come off the ground, but we tried.
we were a content studio when we tried things. So
we tried.
Yeah,
we did. But this is our baby. And
this is our baby.
So yes, so do that. So now we are about to get into a conversation with TJ Ogunlusi. Am I saying it right? I'm good. I'm not. I'm good. I'm not.
How do you say it?
How do you say it?
All these years y'all known one day.
I know.
Ogunlusi.
Lucy.
Yes.
Ogunlusi.
Yes.
Hey, you know what? I never ever tried to say last name, because I knew I would tear it up. And sometimes you just don't want to ask. You know what I'm saying? You're like, I should know this by now. But I thank you for helping me. You know what I'm saying?
That's why I just call him Mrs. O.
I feel like I've always said Ogunlusi art though.
You've been saying it right.
Oh, okay.
But since you asked.
Yes.
Thank you.
And I just say Mr. Wande all the time because we served
Mr.
together
Wande.
in
Exactly.
we served together in Kingdom Kids, Path Kids. So we address everyone as Mr. and Miss. So I just say Mr. Wande. I've never had to say his last name.
Because nobody don't say my name. They like Mr. Darius.
Exactly.
Yeah, but anyway, to the interview.
Yeah. But to the interview. So as we've put out there, you are putting out a memoir, Jesus, hashtag Jesus Therapy and Meds. So first question, just kind of give us the story leading up to this book. What is the story that you bring to this memoir?
Oh, Lord. So I have always wanted to write a book. I teach language arts for those of you who don't know. So it has been a dream to write a book. Initially, I was going to write about all of the misadventures of teaching, which I still am going to do. I'm just changing everybody's name so I don't get sued.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But it's just an idea that's just been kind of sitting on a back burner until this year, well, 2019. And so I went through mental health challenges really my entire life, but it really picked up after I had my baby Trinity in August of 2019. So she will be 1 this year.
Please.
Yeah, I know, right? And wreaking havoc. But anyway. But yeah, so after I gave birth to her, I started basically having panic attacks. My birth story, it was traumatic. There were some things that happened in my birth story that kind of triggered those panic attacks. At the time, I didn't know what was happening to me. And it was a scary time going to the hospital. I don't, if anybody's had a panic attack, it basically feels like you're dying, like you're having a heart attack. Yeah. And so I thought it was the end several times. So the end of last year into the beginning of this year, basically just back and forth trips to the hospital, trying to figure out what was wrong. And basically it kind of just hit me that I needed to start talking about what was happening with me. I haven't been vocal about my mental health issues just because in our community, it kind of gets swept under the rug. But I felt like people needed to hear it. And so it started out being that I felt like people needed to hear my birth story. And then it just kind of translated into, okay, well, people need to hear my whole story because it didn't just start with Trinity's birth. This goes all the way back to my childhood. Yeah. And so I just started writing one day. One of my sorority sisters reached out to me on Facebook because I said I wanted to write a book, and then found out that another sorority sister had a publishing company, Divine Legacy Publishing Company, where basically she coaches you through creative self-publishing. And so I reached out to her, and then everything just kind of fell into place. So it just it started with Trinity's birth, but it ended up being a whole lifestyle.
That's dope.
Wow. So, so now given the time that we're in, or other factors, like what makes now like the absolute right time to release this book, you would say?
So the reason I decided to release it on August 14th was actually because that's my dad's birthday and it's my parents' wedding anniversary. Wow. And so so yes, we're in the middle of COVID. People are dealing with mental health challenges, but that actually had nothing to do with why I chose that date. It just happened to work out that way. Yeah. I wanted to release it in 2021, but then because I talked about some of the challenges that I went through as a child with my dad's addiction and other things like that, I decided that that was the time to do it. So I had about 6 months to get this thing rolling.
Man.
Wow, 6 months to write
So
all that.
so hold up. You wrote it in 6 months?
I started writing, I want to say January, and then I finished last month.
Yeah.
I write a book.
Have no excuses anymore.
Yeah, I'm about to say, I write a book. Now, I'm not going to use your guideline because that's a fast one. I'm going to need about 2 good years. You know what I'm saying? I'm married.
So the good thing about Divine Legacy is that they work on your timeline. So you let them know what day you want to release it. And then she coaches you, Amanda Chambers, she coaches you through your timeline. You come out with an outline. And then for me, she gave me specific dates. I didn't always follow them, but that's neither here nor there. Where I had to have certain sections of the book done. So it's not just all on you.
Oh, okay. So you had accountability partners, you know what I'm saying?
And I
That's
needed
good. It needed, yeah.
Because I know I need it, because if I was doing it by myself, my book will still be being written.
It's still being written.
I'd be 90 years old and it still won't have an end.
I'm so done. Before you ask the other question, Steve, I do, well, one, I am so honored to be able to work with you and help you design your book cover. I think that was first of all, that was the first book cover I've ever done. And number two, to be able to do it with you is such an honor. And I think also too, just the content that you're putting out. I think, well, the direction I want to go to with my podcast, and I feel like that we lack in the Christian community, is transparency and vulnerability about just our human experience and how it really puts a toll on us. I feel like a lot of times, like, it's easy to tell somebody to pray about it. It's easy to tell somebody to read a scripture or share a scripture. But I think a lot of times it goes deeper than that, like seeking that professional help, getting the supplements that you need to be able to function as a normal person, quote unquote. And so I think you being able to release this book, I'm definitely looking forward to reading more about your story and how that has impacted you as a disciple. So that, one, I can relate. You know, I think it's about relatability. And I may not be able to say oh, I exactly understand what you went through, your pain. I can't say that. But what I can say is that I can relate in a way that there are real things and issues that I'm dealing with and that I am choosing to face, because I don't want that thing to continue to have power over me. But then also too, it's just like, it confirms to me that I'm human too, and I make mistakes, and I don't know everything. And there are different things that I've experienced in life that has definitely scarred me in a way that how I view life and how I view people and relationships, and the list goes on. So I'm excited about this project that I was able to work with you on from a design aspect, but then also too, just to be able to see that you're another voice that's being added to the community, to be able to bring this relatability to help people understand that it's okay. Like that, like, being a disciple is not like the solution of like all your problems are going to go away. No, it's that you're learning the tools and gaining the tools to be able to fight it in a healthier way. But then also too, if there's other professional help that you need, like, get that as well too.
Right.
So,
because God put therapists on this earth for a reason.
Amen.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, ain't no coincidence.
And medicine.
Exactly. all that.
Right.
Because I even like the fact that you said that, like, all that. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything. If you need things, it's like, I don't tell people like, hey, you don't need to do this. You don't need to do therapy. You don't need to do. If you need to talk to somebody, go talk to somebody. If you need medication, take medication.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? If you need prayer, pray. And if you need all of them in the same cup, do it.
Right.
Do it.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because it's just like, we don't have enough representatives, enough people, you know what I'm saying, men or women telling us, you know what I'm saying, like, hey, we need help. We have some traumas that were never brought up or even talked about, because we didn't think it was anything wrong, because we just said, this is life. This is what happened to everybody. You know what I'm saying? So we can't look at that. We can't look at our traumas like that, though, because there's some trauma that I had. I didn't know it was a trauma till I talked to my wife about it. And she was just like, oh, poor baby. You need to talk to somebody about that. And I was just like, oh, that was bad? But yeah, go ahead, Scott.
Yeah, sorry. I was going to respond to that. I'm glad that you guys brought that up because one of the things that was triggering my panic attacks was something that happened to me back in graduate school. So we're keeping it real on the podcast. So I was sexually assaulted in grad school. And one of the reasons that I was triggered was because when I was put to sleep after I gave birth to Trinity during a procedure, that basically it kind of triggered that same feeling of being violated. And I didn't even, like, it was something I had pushed to the back of my mind, but my body remembered it. And so every time I would think about that, that was one of the triggers. I would go into panic mode like it was happening. And there was one instance where I was in my living room, Wanda was sitting right here, and I literally had a flashback. Like I felt like it was like I was back in that place. And I didn't even realize it until I started unpacking that with my therapist, that this was something that was so deeply rooted. Like it wasn't just about Trinity's birth. So I like this whole process has helped me to basically unpack all of that and really face it head on and heal from it.
Wow. Yes. Like you are all up in my podcast episode. like literally things that you're saying is things that I'm basically saying in our episode. Like, and I'll give a little sneak peek here too. It's just like, I think a lot of the times, like, because we don't willingly unpack these things, it like for instance, like what Darius says, he didn't know that was something that was traumatic. It was normal for him. And I think because we created this sense of normalcy of things that's happening in our lives, we're expecting those things to happen. Like we do things enough to be like, all right, I'm gonna just get right here to this point because I know if I go there, then it's gonna be that same experience. And I think that's why sometimes we can't really see positive things for ourselves because of the experiences that we've had, and because we haven't really unpacked it or really even addressed it as a thing that's something that was unhealthy, or that's really not how life can be. Like life is not all of what you've experienced. Like there are better things. But I do feel like it starts with that unpacking and relearning, what it is to be healthy, what it is to and it takes time too. And I think it also takes that patience, that grace on yourself. Those are the characteristics of God that I kind of take on in this process myself as I am going through it real time. For me, is that I'm understanding the different experiences that I've intentionally put myself in, and that that happened to me outside of my control as well, is attached to this specific act that happened to me when I was a little girl. And so now it's like, because I haven't really talked to anybody about the details of it, it's just something that I've kind of rolled off like, well, that just happened in my past. Like that don't really have anything to do with me. And then it's like, when you really start dealing with it head on, it's like, actually, that has everything to do with what I've experienced in my life. And in order for me to, for that to no longer have power over me, I have to go back and address the thing when I felt powerless. And so it's like, and then those different instances where it's like, okay, I'm no longer choosing to allow these things to have that much power over me to where I can't progress in my life in this season. So,
yeah. And so in the name of transparency and, just sharing these things, which you're doing in a book, how do you see people or how would you encourage someone to like kind of break down what's in this book? You know what I mean? Like, I know like me and the guys have book club and stuff like that to break things down, because we all have something we can glean from a particular book. So do you see that happening? Or like you said, a podcast that kind of came up in this forum, and we totally encourage you to do that. Yes. I mean, but help. No problem. But how would you imagine this kind of helping people, and how people could share it?
So it is broken down into 5 different parts. So book club wise, I think it will be helpful to study it in those parts. So the first part, I talk about basically my childhood, things that I saw growing up, things that I experienced growing up, and my family's history of mental illness, because people might not think so, but it is genetic. I was predisposed to some of this stuff before I even, because it's genetic. It runs in my family.
That is real.
And so I talk about that. And then I break down my story, which is making Jesus Lord of my life. And how, like you said, I think Melly, you said it, that wasn't just because you made Jesus Lord, that doesn't mean that all of these mental health issues just disappear.
Yeah.
And so then I go into how I started going to therapy after I made Jesus Lord. And then I go into then needing medication because then therapy wasn't enough for me. And then I basically talk about practicals. So at the end of the book, I give practicals on how people can, or, it's broken down into Jesus therapy and meds, a trifecta at the end. I give them practicals on, how to stay faithful, what you need to have in your spiritual backpack. Also how to find a therapist, because it's not one size fits all.
Yeah. Nope.
Have some experiences.
Yep.
Go sitting in anybody's office and think that's you have to find what's right for you. And then even medication, that's not one size fits all either. So I talk about that as well, my experiences of having to go from different antidepressants and the side effects of that. And because a lot of that stuff I didn't know going into it, the purpose of this book is to help people so that, they're going through some of the same things, they can learn from my experience. Because some of this I had to learn just as I went.
OJT.
So
So yeah, and I, that stuff like that, man, like I feel like that'll help people free themselves from some shackles that they may have. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like when people put stuff out like that, when they expose themselves, they actually help other people come from up under the things that they're hiding from. You know what I'm saying? Because even just hearing you talk about it, I'm just like, man, it's so much stuff that we think is normal. You know what I'm saying? And it's so much stuff that we don't know that, what we may be feeling may come from generations of feeling this way. You know what I'm saying? Because, even like sometimes some anxieties or feelings of failure, you know what I'm saying, you see and you be like, hey, man, my mama dealt with this, my grandmama dealt with this, my grandfather. You start seeing the patterns because you be like,
generational.
Where did I get this from? You know what I'm saying? Because just like I tell people, it is a such thing as generational curses. And just like I told people, I'm just like, and that's why I was like, even before I get my wife pregnant, I was just like, man, I want to unpack as much stuff so I don't really have to pass this along to my kid. If I am, I want to be able to get healthy enough to, if I see that in my child, I'll be like, hey, let me talk to you about this. You know what I'm saying? I had this going on. You know what I'm saying? Let me let you know that you ain't walking this walk on your own. I said, because that's the way we're going to truly heal our community. You know what I'm saying? Just by saying, all right, I noticed that in you. I may not be the one to talk to, or you may not can't expose what you're truly feeling to me, but I want you to go to counseling and stuff like that. To be able to open up. Because just like I tell people, just like sometimes talking to your parents just ain't the easiest thing. You know what I'm saying? And just like sometimes, just like I tell people, just talking to your friends, they ain't enough. They ain't no trained counselors. You know what I'm saying? They just gonna tell you what they think. Or if it's one of your homeboys, like, man, that's so deep, dog. I don't even know what to tell you. You know what I'm saying? And you be like, that ain't what I wanted to hear, but all right, you know what I'm saying?
They be like, that's what's up. So
I'm gonna go cry on my. I'm gonna go cry on my own. You know what I'm saying? Because even like I know it's sometimes I could, even my brother and some of my best friends, they was just like, man, I knew it was real for you, because like I don't cry for real. You know what I'm saying? But it was one day I was going through something so bad and I couldn't explain it. We were sitting in the car in the parking lot before we walked in the restaurant. I just bucked around crying, and everybody in the car was just silent. They was just like, I don't even know what to do with this. You know what I'm saying? They're like, I ain't never seen him hurt. You know what I'm saying? Out, and I was just like, dude, I ain't had nowhere else to go. And I just thought, y'all my boys. You know what I'm saying? And I could do this in front of y'all because I trust y'all. You know what I'm saying? And it it scares people because they don't know how to handle emotion. Because I still don't know how to handle emotion. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing I want to go to counseling. I don't know how to handle emotion when it spill out in front of me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I get to the point where it's just like, I don't even know what to do with this. You know what I'm saying? Like, how do I cope or deal? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And that's just some things that I know I need to go to counseling about and stuff like that. There's a lot of things I need to go counseling about, and I need to start back going for real. Now to be having this conversation.
It's really good. I mean, I definitely agree with Takaya when she says like a therapist is not a one size fit all situation. And I realized like even just so my dad, he's a therapist, or he's been a therapist for like 10 plus years. So it's kind of good to have certain conversations with him because he has such a like therapy mindset, like when it comes to like how he asks me questions to think through different things that I may like bring up in conversation and things like that. But I do feel like there are things that I went to therapy for then that I am still dealing with now. So it makes me think like, did I truly take advantage of the opportunity, or did I need another therapist to really kind of dig into what it was really that I needed to talk about and sort through? Because I'm still dealing with the same things that I don't feel like I've broken free truly from the things that I went to therapy for initially. So I do feel like I am that, like, as I'm seeking a therapist, like I'm really becoming particular, because I just know that my experiences in the past haven't been the best. They've been like very surfacey. Like I'm really trying to go deep, and I think a lot of times the questions that are asked they don't help. They don't help me. It's like questions that my friends already asked, and it's like, but I don't think that anyways. So yeah, so I think in searching for a therapist, I think that's really important to note. It's like, it's not a one size fit all. Like you really have to seek and search for who that person is going to be.
Yeah, because even like another question I got for you is just like when, you know what I'm saying, like when writing that book, did you feel like your emotions coming back up as you spoke through those experiences again? You know what I'm saying? Like, did that ever happen to you?
All the time. So I was going through trauma-based therapy at the same time as writing my book. And that first section of the book where I write about my childhood, reliving a lot of that was extremely traumatic.
Right.
So it was hard, but at the same time, it was therapeutic as well. There were a lot of tears cried, like a lot.
Right.
But I got to unpack that with my therapist. I actually was seeing two therapists at the time, one for postpartum, and then my therapist that I see long term. So I was able to unpack how I was feeling, and she held me accountable as well with writing a book. But yeah, it was definitely a lot. And then putting it on paper, it's like, dang, like all this happened. Like,
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely get it.
I can only imagine, because that's what made me think about it. I was like, yo, you writing something that to the core and bringing that core out and actually putting it in front of you, it's just like looking in the mirror the whole time. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Exactly.
Because I know if it was me, if I'm writing in my journal, I'm like, sometimes I write some stuff, I just be like, hey man, that was tough right there. You know,
I'm gonna come back to that in a minute.
Yeah, I'm gonna come back. Yeah, exactly. I got to push back a minute to sit here and sort myself out. You know what I'm saying? Because I know just like you're saying, these are your memoirs, so I can only imagine, you know what I'm saying, how deep you go into it. And like, even if, you know what I'm saying, like, what if, like, or it's gonna be a part 2 to this, or is just gonna be some other books? Because I know sometimes you get something and it hit, but you know, life still go on, and it may be still some stories to write on and on.
I feel like there will be a part 2 with the memoir, but I'm also still trying to write that book about these adventures as a teacher, because some of those things that I've seen,
right,
That could be a reality show. So that's awesome.
Hey, hey, listen, I might read it and be like, you know what? This might be a good film.
You know, because even like when you say teacher stuff, I'm like, hey man, I can only imagine what teachers go through. Because I just like these the most underpaid, underfunded people that have one of the most important jobs on this planet.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, I don't like. I tell people like that's gonna be the first thing I fix if I become president. Teachers gonna have to have a 6-figure salary. We're gonna get them.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? We're gonna have to go get the money from somewhere. Even when we got the defense budget down, they get billions of dollars just to play with rockets.
Right.
But,
exactly.
You know, but in your book, do you even discuss like is it just totally the memoirs, or do you bring a little bit of what goes on in your life as a teacher in it, or is that just gonna be a whole separate entity?
I do bring up something that happened to me as a teacher that kind of led me to fall into a depression.
Yeah.
So there's not like a whole section on me as a teacher, but I definitely because I talk about, you know, all of my mental health issues. I talk about some of what contributed to that. And that job was one of the things that contributed. So I do. You're back.
Steve's back.
Back.
I use my phone, guys.
Had to go on network. You know what I'm saying?
Oh no, man. I don't know what happened.
It's all right, man. You know what I'm saying? We were concerned. We thought Brittany had beat you up.
Oh Lord.
You just seen your square go black.
Right.
Wow.
And Takaya just took over as the host, and I was like, okay.
Exactly. Yeah, start breaking some stuff down and, you know, giving it to us raw like sushi. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm glad stream kept going. That's what's important.
Yes,
that's what's important.
Yes.
Yes.
But yeah, I can see how that would. I think that's why I was really scared to write my book, because I've been trying to write it for the last year. But I think it's because I'm just trying to like, man, I think because I see a lot of videos, or I was gonna do a coach thing, but they were just doing too much. But I was just like, yeah, I definitely gonna have to have some like accountability with the person that understands the process. But then also too, it's just like, man, because I'm writing about my life too, and I'm like, do I really want to go there to these different things? Because in order for me to, because I think when I started writing it was like, what the things that happened to me. So the name of my book is going to be called Shift, and it was launched from something that happened in my life around, I think maybe it was like the year before last. I think I went to this conference that Jazz invited me and Tina to. It was like for creatives and people like in the church or whatever, and there was like a specific class that I went to, and I felt overwhelmed, and my heart started to get really hard, because even though they gave us every piece of resource that we needed to excel, you know, within that lane with it. So like it was advanced filmmaking. So they were just kind of going through like storyboards and different things that you can kind of present to pastors. So like if you have like a video you want to shoot for a series that they're doing, like, you know, these are some tools that you can have. So I would think that I would walk out confident, but I felt like defeated, because I was just like, this is a lot of information and I don't even know where to begin. Let alone do I feel like I have an adequate amount of help to be able to, you know, successfully do it. And I just felt really, really like sad. And we were in the general session and Tina came over. She's like, is everything okay? And I was like, nope. I didn't really know how to articulate that, but I just started to pray and I was just crying. And then like, as soon as I opened my eyes, like God just gave me the vision for like everything. And I feel like a lot of where it stemmed from is like, there were so many things that God shifted in my life that year. Like my car was broken into, my laptop and my camera and stuff was stolen. And then my car was repossessed. And then it was like a shift, like everything, like there was like, even at the beginning of the year, my account was hacked. I didn't have a job, that way I couldn't catch up with my bills. When I did get a job, it was only like, I was making them like not enough money to even pay the bills to keep a roof over my head, asking people for money to help me this. It was just like so many things that happening. And I feel like God was like doing that purposely to shift my perspective on what he was trying to get me to pay attention to, but then not realizing like he's been doing that the whole entire time. So it's like now I got to go back and address that. So I think you expressing that kind of gives me that motivation now. It's like, okay, when I find the right therapist, not when I find it, I can start now, but like, I think finding that right therapist is going to help me through that process. Because as I start writing about these things, I need to really start unpacking it, because I don't want to just continue to talk from a place of hurt to where like there's no resolve, if that makes sense. Like, but I still want to, express the pain, but say like, these are the things, these are the ways that I've been able to overcome and still am overcoming, to give you that hope as well. So I don't want to just express all my hurt and pain and then have no like, hope for people. So yeah, that gives me some encouragement.
Yeah, that sounds really awesome. I hope I didn't miss too much. I'm gonna go back and listen and look. But we mentioned that you are a teacher, and that is very relevant to today in this COVID environment. So what I'd like to ask is, what would you want, the one thing or just very important things you would want people to know about being a teacher, like that no one talks about?
Let me think about that, because I don't know who's watching it.
Like, I got to make sure I'm saying the right thing.
Watching, Tanisha's watching.
I think that you need to be somewhere where you're supported as an educator. Having worked at a place where that wasn't necessarily the case, it'll break you down. I do talk about that in my book, about how I almost left the profession because of that. So just knowing, like, when you're looking for a job in education, knowing how to ask the right questions. And now I know to ask, like, what's your retention rate, the turnover rate, how do you support your teachers, those types of things. So just make sure that you're working somewhere where you have support from administration, and make sure you have friends, because that's the only reason I survived that last job. That's the only reason why I stayed, is because I had my teacher friends, like my squad.
Yeah.
So we could, go back to our classroom and talk about people.
You know what I'm saying?
I just have to find that at this job now. I just started a new job, so.
Yeah. So you gotta rebuild.
I know once upon a time people wanted me to be a teacher, and I was just like, too violent to be a teacher.
I mean,
what kind of teacher do you want to be?
No, I know my mom asked me, she's like, "Oh, you should be a math teacher." I was just like,
that'd be the most lit math class ever.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because
black male teachers.
Oh no, man.
Oh yeah, that part. We do need black male teachers.
I was too I told her, I was like, hey man, let me tell you something. If I was teaching high school, I'd be fired the first day, because soon as one little Thundercat coming in talking about what he gonna do to me, I'll be like, come up here and square off then if you about that
square
life,
up. Oh, math reference, but cheap.
What I will say is, it depends on what district you work in, what you can get away with, and I'll just leave it at that.
I heard that one time. You know what I'm saying? Because so one dude telling me like, man, I'm rough, man.
Because I've said a thing or two. You have to
let them know.
What you're not about to do is
I know you might think you at your mama's house, but you're not.
You're not.
You know what I'm saying? What you came in here told me, you'll leave out dragging.
There's a kitchen set over there, but this is my classroom.
Well, that's all, man. That's good stuff, man. I'm telling you, like.
Oh, Steve is going again.
I couldn't see myself being a teacher, man. Every time I think about it, it's like, nah.
You have thick skin, though. I think that's something you need as a teacher, because they will, depending on where you're at, they'll try to run you out. I've seen it happen.
Yeah.
Okay. So you know, yeah.
I tried the teacher thing. It wasn't for me.
I'm gonna just go back to IT. That's it. That's where I'm gonna work at. I'll go back. Math my thing. You know what I'm saying? But you know, exactly, Russell. Hands are rated E for everybody.
Period.
You know, because I put some olive oil that I prayed over and throw them things.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Exactly. Come in there with some wet hyssop trees and go to thrashing people kids. Get out, she demon.
You know,
wow.
Hey, Steve.
I said I have stories of things
I'm sure, and I'm really excited to hear them.
When you retire, write a book about that.
Right. I don't have time.
Right.
Yeah, right now, don't do it. You know what I'm saying? You still in the prime of your now. If you take off as an author and you start getting them $500,000, $1 million signing deals, you go ahead and put that book out here.
Right.
And I'm telling it all.
You, Sheila.
Start getting DMs. Yes, I was talking about you.
But yeah,
don't know.
If the shoe fit.
Steve, you straight?
Yes.
Right.
I keep going in and out
with this letter over there.
Exactly, man. It's all right, man. You know,
this has not happened to me in quite some time. But so yes. So I guess the final question I would have is, how has your faith shaped you? You
break it up.
Yeah, we ain't hear none of that. We said, how does your faith?
And then it just
send it in the text message.
Put it in the comments.
Super. I'll do that. But yeah, how's your faith shaped you during this time with all this going on?
Oh Lord.
Okay.
It's been a roller coaster, to be honest. I think at the beginning, when I first started going through all this stuff, like my faith was on point. I'm going to get through this. I'm going to be healed in a month. And then as stuff kept going on, I'm like, okay, this is not the right medication.
Mm-hmm.
My psychiatrist is not listening to me. I'm still having panic attacks 6 months in.
Yeah.
I had to rely on other people. I've had friends that I've had to call, Tina, Janae, Naya, like they've had to come here and sit with me sometimes. Last night I had a moment and Tina, I had to call her and she had to just pray because I was having a moment. Mm-hmm. So, like I said, it's been a roller coaster. Some days I'm a lot more faithful than others, but on those other days, I have a squad, like a spiritual squad that I can rely on. And one day, because
come on, squad.
Come on, one day.
Like in and out of the hospital with me, praying with me through panic attacks. Like he's definitely been a real one. So if anything,
come on, man of God.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
You need a support system.
Yes.
But and I like that you said that too, because I don't think a lot of people understand what a support system is supposed to consist of. You need solid people around you. You know what I'm saying? Like you need solid people around you. Just like you said, one of your therapists was tripping, they weren't listening, they were hearing you, but they weren't hearing you. You know what I'm saying? And even like going through that, like how did that affect your mentality? Like knowing that you're going to somebody they ain't hearing you. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just like you talk to a wall or something.
It made me angry, to be honest. And I had to find a new psychiatrist because number one, psychiatrists are not cheap.
Nope.
My first psychiatrist, no offense to y'all, he was a man. So he didn't understand postpartum depression, postpartum anxiety. He didn't understand any of that. So he was basically telling me that that's not what I was suffering from. I didn't need to be on anxiety medication. I needed to be on this particular medication. And keeping it real, I ended up in a mental institution on that medication, went back to him telling him that my therapist said I need to change medication, and he still wasn't listening. So at that point, I was like, you know what? This ain't it.
Right.
It's not going to work. So they're like, you need to be an advocate for yourself a lot of times, because just because they're a psychiatrist does not mean they have your best interest at heart. I have stories about that too. That might be for another day.
The adventures of psychiatry.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, because I like the fact that you said it, because I don't think a lot of people, because it's something that I was even telling one of my family members about, like, yo, just when a person ain't hearing you and stuff like that, it's all right to go somewhere else. Just because they got a degree don't mean they hear all, end all, be all of everything that you have going on. Because it's just like I was telling, like, if you got a pain that you got and they obviously telling you that you're not in pain, but you can barely move, or you can barely speak or think or whatever and stuff like that, and whatever medication they gave you ain't doing that but making you worse, you kind of got to start using your brain and saying, like, all right, what they doing to me is not helping me. I'm obviously in the wrong place. You know what I'm saying? Because all this dude is doing is just pushing his own objective. I don't even, think he's doing this job right, for real. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I feel you on that.
Right.
Absolutely.
Well,
I don't know where Steve is.
Yeah, we don't know Steve. We're just gonna cut Steve out, man. You know what I'm saying?
Wait, hold on. Yeah, I'm just muting my picture for the moment, just to stay in the conversation. But it's been a great conversation. TJ Ogunlusi. Check out her book. It'll be available digital on August 14th, correct?
This week, yes.
Yes.
Oh, a note before you go on. My mom and her husband's wedding anniversary is on that same day too.
Yay.
Yeah. So, everybody go get that book, man.
Go get it. I got mine.
Yeah, I got mine ordered. I was number 5. I tried to be number 1. But they ain't happening for me. I was too slow.
Secret one day was
You're in the number. You're in the number.
Oh man, because he was an inside person.
Hey, before I put this out here, you buy the book first.
Exactly. Before I put exactly. Your chance to line up. You my man, so show up and show out.
And he did.
That's what's up. But we're glad to have you. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank y'all for having me.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? I like the things you brought forth for our Christian community, where if they don't think therapy can help them. It's a great hey y'all. Some of y'all out here don't know how to act, and it's the reason you don't know how to act because you ain't talking to nobody about how you act. So you need
to go talk to somebody.
Go talk to somebody.
Maybe some medication too.
Exactly.
Some medication.
Exactly, because if you need medication, ain't nothing wrong with that, man. You know what I'm saying? We all in a life that we don't really understand, and things happen around us that we cannot handle sometimes.
Yeah.
Just because it's like I tell people, sometimes we just ain't got the things that'll help pull us through. You know what I'm saying? I don't see it like 2 of my aunts, you know what I'm saying, on my father's side had the same thing going on with them, and they needed it. But people try to tell them they didn't need it, and they end up putting them in a place that they couldn't even come back from. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And you know what I'm saying? So it stuff like that. I tell people, hey man, do what you gotta do, man. Get healthy the way you need to get healthy. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Right. So we're gonna wrap this up with some final thoughts. We'll start with our special guest. Final thoughts, Takaya.
Really, Darius just said it all. If you need therapy, go to therapy. We all need Jesus. Yes. And if you need medication, take the medication. Know that it's a process. It takes 6 to 8 weeks or more for the medication to kick in. It might not be the right medication for you. It's trial and error. And one thing I didn't get a chance to mention is that sometimes your kids need therapy too. And Mara was in therapy earlier this year. And because I went through anxiety, I saw the signs and I made her go to therapy. So don't be afraid parents to put your kids in therapy if they need to be. Oh, and buy my book.
Y'all better buy her book.
Period. Buy that book.
I'm gonna get the postman to send y'all letters if y'all don't buy a book.
I can't.
Final thought, Melody G.
Oh gosh. Final thoughts. This was a good episode today, y'all. Like, I really feel good about this conversation. But yeah, I think just to kind of reiterate what Takaya has already said, advocate for yourself, and not just when it comes to the process of finding a therapist or what medication works for you, but just in life. Don't allow people just to run over you and just agree to disagree. Like, make your voice known. You know, I think that's something I've learned over the past year, is to just be an advocate for myself. And if there's something that doesn't sit right with me, that I have a voice, and that I'm not going to agree with everybody and what they have to say. And that's okay. Because if we were all the same, this world will be interesting, to say the least. So yeah, continue to advocate, you know, for yourself, and check out my episode that's dropping tomorrow morning. I'm excited to read.
You still dabbing? Are we still dabbing?
I don't know. This generation is doing a lot more.
I never started
things.
I never started.
Yeah, I pick up stuff late and just start, you know what I'm saying, doing it, you know what I'm saying?
Well, history repeats itself. So
since I'm 37 now, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna just start being that guy. I'm gonna be that uncle that show up on my nephews and do lame stuff.
Oh my God. Okay. But anyways, those are my final thoughts. Advocate for yourself.
Final thoughts, Stephen Neal.
Well, I would say this has been a great conversation about getting healing where you need it, using all of God's resources, because God has provided all of us these resources. And like it's been said, I know Darius said it on the program, Quay, a friend of ours, he has said this as well, and I'll follow his lead. As soon as I get the word that the bundle of joy is on the way, definitely, maybe even before then, of course, I'm going to unpack some things that kind of like some latent anger I've had with my parents and how things turned out. I come from 3 generations of divorce. Okay. So that all has a factor in, you know, what I saw marriage to be, parenthood to be. And I know I'm definitely going to unpack that because, you know, I owe it to my offspring to start healing.
Yeah.
So, so this definitely was a great conversation toward that. And also, our podcast drops tomorrow as well. We're recording tomorrow. We'll probably drop it the same day, probably at night, Monday night. So check Spotify, Apple for FCX, the Film Crew Experience. Search it just like that. And yeah, that's my final thought.
Hey, that's what's up. Good stuff.
Final thought, Darius J.
Well, along the lines of what we talked about today, you know, and just to push it further and kind of like bring it full circle, it's life is not easy. I say this often. I say it all the time on this podcast, and life is hard to face alone. You know what I'm saying? And then some of the things that you and Takai was talking about, like she had friends, a husband, therapy, medication, all those things are needed when people need them. You know what I'm saying? And there's nothing wrong with that, because just like I remember something that Dave Chappelle said, and I always like took it to heart. You know what I'm saying? Because some people say it to you and you don't think that nothing. I had to catch myself for saying it a lot too. You know what I'm saying? That people are crazy. No, you know what I'm saying? That's just an excuse for people. That's a cop-out to me when people just say, oh, they crazy. You know what I'm saying? That's a cop-out. You know what I'm saying? That just means you ain't ready to deal with what they got going on. You don't even want to try to offer the hand to give them help. And that stuck with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, when he said that, because he was going through something in his life, you know what I'm saying, around the end of the Chappelle show, that he had to just break out and go do something and go get himself healed too. You know what I'm saying? And we can't just label people as crazy. We can't label people, you know what I'm saying, with, you know, the things that give us excuse to back away from what they got going on, to be the helping hand, to be the love, the strong tower that they need around them. And you know what I'm saying? Because just like, even like you said, sometimes, man, I ain't saying that Jesus ain't enough, but Jesus needs some supplements behind it for some people too. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? It ain't nothing wrong with seeking help. It's nothing wrong with talking about your generational curses. Nothing wrong with talking about your brokenness. There's nothing wrong with seeking guidance, help, and don't feel bad for doing that, because if somebody try to make you feel bad for doing that, they don't need to be around you for real. They ain't got you at heart. And don't be afraid to reveal yourself to the people that love you, because some people really want to help. They see what's going on, but they don't know how to approach you. It's kind of like playing double dutch. You know what I'm saying? They don't know how to come in and say, I want to help, you know what I'm saying? Because we ain't really fully exposed ourselves to them to be able to allow them to help, you know what I'm saying? So they don't really know where to step in at. They don't even know they need to just stand there and just look at you and be like, hey, I just want you to know I'm here. Or they need to sit beside you, hold your hand, rub your back, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Or help you go on the journey, or, you know, get in a psychiatrist and all the other things that may be needed. But you also need those people in your corner, because just like sometimes some people try to get over, and some people will help you realize that, hey, some people trying to get over. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, build your circle up around you. You know what I'm saying? It's okay to seek therapy. I think Black people need therapy, period. You know what I'm saying? Like, as a whole, it's so much stuff that we don't had come down the generational pipeline that just skated on from one generation to the next, and it land on us. And we be like, why I got this why I got this bad feeling about around me, why I'm always anxious, why I'm always angry. And you know, you never know that those things, man, they just been passed down for you. You had somebody that was around you that was angry, you know what I'm saying, that was in your bloodline, and just never got to deal with it. They probably drank themselves through it, smoked themselves through it, and all that stuff like that. But in the end, you know what I'm saying, Jesus is king, like Kanye say, and therapy is real. It helps, and medication is real. It helps. So if you need all of them, like Kai say, if you need them all, get them all, use them all, utilize them. Help yourself be healthy. That's my final thought.
All right, so another one in the books for season 4.
Yay!
This has been Convrs8, and we talked about it.